Right, last week we had the insider, my brother Mark, standing in for the money shot. And the money shot had a nice weekend away down at the Awapuni races and a few extracurricular activities as well. And so it's good to have you back, money shot. And did you enjoy your weekend down there?
Yeah, it was very good. The golf was very ordinary. It was a team event. I'd like to blame my teammates, but I can't do that. I played pretty poorly, but the only upside was we did draw Melody Bell in the sweepstakes, so we got a bit of money back from that, so that was nice. But yeah, it was a good crowds at both the trots and the gallops on the Friday and the Saturday, which was nice to see with the Gold Cup Festival themed race days. So hopefully that concept can continue to grow in the years to come.
Yeah, true, right, good idea. And the Andrew Forsman, Murray Baker juggernaut carried on last week in Australia with John Snow just putting his head down and coming again when looking as though he was going to get run down. But John Snow, we were pretty keen on him a couple of weeks ago, and I know you especially were as well, at $15 on the futures market. So
yeah, it was a nice result. They certainly know how to pick the right horses to take to Australia for the big races, don't they? And who knows, they might do the double this week with Bonnevale in the Oaks, but good to see John Snow win. Ginger Nuts, just the rub of the green probably against him with the lack of pace, and then just having to come a bit too wide as they sprinted and got pushed even wider, but still a good run and certainly not far from disgrace was Ginger Nuts.
Yeah, exactly. I think the inside was favoured all day, and just things went against him. Probably just had enough too, but no, he's a good tough horse, and looking forward to seeing how he comes back next year as well. And what else we got here? Oh, Samson won the Awapuni Gold Cup. Didn't fancy him, but just goes to show how a horse can go far superior one way opposed to the other.
Yeah, indeed. Picked up two nice races this campaign with the Trentham Stakes and then the Awapuni Gold Cup. So well done to the team there. Reece Jones doesn't get many rides these days, but and Howie Matthews, he always seems to have a good horse around him, so good for them to salute. And Melody Bell winning the Group 1 for Te Akau, continuing their role in the first Group 1 for Michael McNabb.
Yeah, and I don't know if you probably maybe before your time, I saw a horse called Mr. Tiz rattle home at Ellerslie when looking no chance of winning. I think it was the Railway, and I can't remember the year, but Chautauqua did a similar sort of finishing effort when he just flew home, looking not even a chance of even placing 200 metres out, and just flew home and got up last week to win. Have you seen a more impressive win than that?
No, probably not. Not coming from what looked a hopeless position, and I know there was an article during the week, I think, in live betting, there was money traded at 800 to 1 in the run at about the 200 metre mark, so not a bad little collect, 12 seconds and you get an 800 to 1 shot.
That's right.
I know, wasn't much money on it, but still would have been quite exciting. Not for the person that was laying it, perhaps.
That's dead right, yeah. No, I had a look at the money that was traded on there. It wasn't much, but it was an interesting reading, though. Okay, any sporting highlights from last week that we can recall?
Well, the Warriors got a win. I thought you'd be pleased with that.
Yeah, it was pretty
They certainly showed a lot more on attack. Their one-on-one defence was still a little suspect, but nice to see them get a win, and they should build on that. I think they should win again this week, actually, although they're not one of my main bets, but all those long-suffering Warriors fans. And I guess the other highlight, the domination of the New Zealand teams in Super Rugby, with all 5 teams winning.
Yeah.
And certainly there's a lot of gnashing of teeth in Australia with their teams not going so well. So long may that continue.
Yeah, I heard of the 11 games, they haven't won a game against the Kiwis still, the New Zealand teams yet. Amazing fact. Yeah.
No.
Incredible. So. Okay, no, it was a great week last week. Thanks to John Snow helping a few of us to get out of the poo, so that was good. Okay, back with a preview of Te Rapa. Great card there, and Trentham in a moment.
Part 2 now of Heads Up and big race two big races today. Tomorrow, Neil, both have been transferred from their original venues. The Group 1 Breeders' Stakes from Te Aroha to Te Rapa, and the Manawatu Breeders' Stakes from Old Penny to Trentham. A bit of a rarity, but I guess the right decision has been made with the way the weather's been the last week.
Yeah, it's
Start with Te Rapa.
Yeah, it's good to see the clubs working together and getting things sorted out. I think the right decision was made at Te Aroha. You wouldn't want to risk a very valuable mare on a track that could potentially end its career. So, yeah, tricky race, that race 8. There's quite a few chances there. I'm quite keen on mine. Probably should have won at Auckland, do you think? If Blake shouldn't have got out early in the inside when the gap was there. Drove hard late, was in front past the post, so it would have been fair to say it would have won with an earlier run. But yes, Sophia Rosa with the blinkers going on is going to be tough, and Rasalida even comes into it now. Gee, there's 5 or 6 or 7. Miss Wilson, crikey, Dick, where do you stop? Rising Shot with a good run. Gee, what are you keen on, anything?
Probably mine. It was certainly unlucky last time, so you'd think with the stable in form, good draw, be hard to beat.
Yeah, not a race you'd go silly on, is there? There's much better bets early in the day there, and save your money for those races, I think. Yeah. And at Trentham, we had a heavy 11 track this morning, Friday morning, but it sounds like it will come back to a heavy 10. Now, when I walked the track there on a heavy track, you just have to wait and see how the pattern goes, because often that strip just out from the centre of the straight can often favour horses about 3 or 4 metres wide, and I can see them getting out there by race 5, 6 onwards, and it'll suit quite a few horses. And that fillies and mares race is going to be an interesting one, especially with the way that the track will be playing by that time of day. And I went through this field and I thought, well, what do you go for? And I thought, well, I've got to stick with the horse that looks to be the up-and-comer middle distance horse out of a Zabeel mare, number 5, Wildflower. Ran on nicely at Tauranga and for third, and I think she's just been set nicely for this race. Drawn out, which could be crucial, even after 2,000 metres. And it does look to one, but at $3.30, you wouldn't go silly at that price, would you, I suppose? That's just
no, you wouldn't go silly on that price. When I was at Trentham on a heavy 11, Neil, I agree with that.
And perfectly enchanted, couple of good seconds, peaking at the right time. Bella's Delight, even Mangara Flojo's ran a good second here on a heavy track. Blinkers go on. What else? You've got Angel and Blue Jeans, good win last start, and third time lucky with the Myers team. So yeah, not a race you'd put the rent money on, really. Anything you quite like there?
Not really, no. It wouldn't be a race I'd get involved in, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. No, it looks like a day of a decent track at Te Rapa is going to be the place where it'll get most punters' money. And in the first race, there's a horse there I'm pretty keen on called Smiling Moor, number 5. A lucky number 2, 5, Smiling Moor. The trials, people who would have seen the trials would have been really impressed by this horse's win. And so I actually downloaded the trial of his race and also the open handicap, compared the time in sectionals, and Smiling Moor's time was where is it? About 0.3 or a couple of lengths quicker than the open handicap won by Bonnie Girl, and his last 400 metres was still quicker as well by about a length, and he just did it on his ear. And Andrew Forsenman was on Trackside Radio earlier today, and he made him the horse that punters should probably back out of his team on this side of the Tasman. So he opened at $2.90, he's into $2.70, and he does look a winner in that first race. I'll be keen to get onto him.
Probably will close at $2.20 now.
Probably will. I can see them really coming for it. He's a terrific looking horse. He ran second to a not a bad horse in Ginger Nut's last campaign at Hastings. Really closed the race off strongly, and he was a bit slow away in his trial, which was a concern, but Opie's on, drawn 6, and if he settles sort of midfield or just behind there. He seemed quite keen in his trial, so I can see him trying to get those gaps early and get him handy and don't get him amongst horses. So top rider, top trainers, looks like a top horse as well, so it could be a great way to start the day. And later in the day, we've got some good horses racing. Anything else you're very keen on at all at Te Rapa?
I'll give the punters one. I have a friend, shall we say, in Australia. He follows certain stables very closely, track work and the like. This is no lies. He's sent through 3 tips, 2 during the spring carnival, 1 over Christmas. All 3 horses won. And we just received the information for a horse today. First tip of the year. Race 4 at Cranbourne tonight. It's Friday, 9:30 p.m. Race 4, the night races at Cranbourne. The first starter, number 12. Now, I see in Australian markets it's $1.80, say. But the word as it goes, as good as a jumbo jet. So take that for what you want. Hayes Dabernig, first starter. I'll let you pronounce it, Neil, but race 4, number 12 at Cranbourne.
Yeah, it's the F word.
Not that F word, but an F word.
Yeah,
so we'll pass on that information. This guy, he follows track work very closely there at Flemington, so there we go. We'll see if he can keep up his good record. I guess it'd be remiss not to mention also have a little share in BT Juniors with Fresh Up.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Te Rapa, 1400, obviously short of his best, but has come up well and could run a sneaky race and could easily place in that field at 650. So don't want to be told that if he does do well, why didn't you tip out your horse? So we'll get in first and say certainly working on his work and the way he's come up after a spell from his sojourn down south. Definitely not the worst in that field, shall we say.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't surprise her, right? If he's well and happy, he's just the type of horse that could upset that field. No standouts in that race.
Kalani would be hard to beat if the track comes back to a dead, but hey, 650 a place.
Yep. No, we'll take it. And in the second race, really smart filly there called Love Affair. Her last 200 metres when she won there was the fastest all day. I think it was 10.74 seconds. And you could see just the way she flattened out, It was just a sign of a really smart filly. And drawn 5 away from the fence. There's a couple of nice horses in there, but I think she's something special. Opie jumps on, 220. I think she's a good bet too.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the bookies put out how many winners will Forsman Baker have tomorrow at Te Rapa.
Yeah.
You got Let Me Roar as well, so we've tipped. There's 4 potentially with Mime and the one in the first, so could be a field day for them at Te Rapa.
Yeah, that Let Me Roar. It's remember I know last start you went too keen because she'd missed a trial. She'd missed a trial, and they weren't too sure if she was 100%, but she killed them. And Andrew said she has trained on really well since. So
I'd say that's hard to beat. Curtains for the rest. She's got a huge amount of upside, that horse.
Yeah, like Andrew said, the only negative he said was the draw, and you got watch the space. Southern Icon sees the moment, he'll go forward, but she's a push button sort of mare, and I think Matt Cameron. Maybe the way the track is playing too, if the rail's off field, it doesn't matter if she sits 3 wide in the open even, I think, does it really? She'll still beat that field with that weight. Just a really good mare. So she has to be about $2, maybe just a wait and see bet. If the inside's the place to be, which it can be sometimes there, it could be a bit tricky for. And in race 9 there's a horse there. If we're in the poo by the end of the day, Jake the Muss is a horse that I quite like, 650 and 250. Beaten by the draw last start. Opie jumps on this time, drawn 7. She'll get an ideal run, and I think he's just a good strong horse from the Logan stable, and could be hard to beat in the last race there. Bonnie Vale over in the Oaks. Give her much chance, right-handed?
Big chance.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about the right-handed. I think that 8-carat run, you just bit of an aberration. So yeah, she'll be okay, and she has the class to win that race, I would have thought.
Yeah, she just the way she looks like a real typical Zabeel, out of a Zabeel mare. just the way she's got a long, strong neck, the way she strides out, the way she relaxes. She does look hard to beat. I think Andrew was saying on TV this morning that Huey jumped off in track work and was really happy. She's the best looking horse apparently, coat wise, in the stabling area, so it ticks all the boxes, and hopefully she can just carry on the Kiwi juggernaut.
You're not going to tip anything to beat Winks today, tomorrow, Neil?
No, I'm not in that mood this weekend. No, she's terrific, isn't she? And just even on a wet track, even the wet track does seem to favour her more than the others, and she has to be hard to beat. The Sydney Cup was interesting. Big Mike is a good horse, and I thought 280 was good money still. He's a good horse, won really well. Big Duke, sorry, number 7.
Yeah, I think Big Mike, it might be a big step up from the maiden at Tauranga.
Yeah.
But you never know. He's actually not a bad horse, Big Mike. He'll win some more races. But
yeah,
Big Duke, a few of them were willing to risk him on the preview shows and that, but he's been winning pretty well.
He has. He just on the up, and 2 miles is always a question. You know, we've got Mr. Impatient snuck over there, $81. You wouldn't give him much chance there. And who shot the Barman? Just the type of race he could pop on in again. 2 miles, wet track. He's been going nice races, 4th up, peaking nicely. Blake Shannon. Got to be tough to beat. No, good day of racing tomorrow, Te Rapa and Australia, and looking forward to that. And Chocolate Fish Bet in race, where is it? Just bring it up here. Race 4, was it?
4 or 5.
4 or 5, getting there slowly. Just hold you. Here we are. Race 5, I'm pretty keen on a horse, number 8, Julius. He did really well last start at Ellerslie, sat on a hot speed and just got run down giving weight away. So I'm pretty keen on Julius. Anything you're keen on there to beat him?
Well, we'll go with the horse that will sit right up on the pace. Lewis Carroll, drawn 1, Opie Blossom. He might be too quick for Julius. He's a big striding horse, seems to go best at Ellerslie, that horse. But both progressive horses, but just for the sake of the Chocolate Fish, we'll keep going with Lewis Carroll over Julius.
Yep, I hope he rides Julius a bit quieter. I think he's a better chaser than on the pace horse. So 55 kgs, getting 3 kgs off Lewis Carroll, money in the bank, I feel, or Chocolate Fish in the bank. So looking forward to that race now already.
I'm still waiting for the last one when Indian Rose beat Pacorus home.
Oh, was it in the mail? You haven't got it yet?
Yeah, it must have got rained out.
Yeah, probably
the fish must have swum away in the mail with all the rain.
Shivers, yeah. Yeah, along with the rest. Yeah. Okay, back with part 3 with the sports preview. Looking forward to that in a moment. Right, Money Shot. It's a week all part-time golfers and full-time golfers and anybody who just loves to watch golf gets in front of that TV at some time over the next few days and just soaks up the class players of Roy McIlroy. No Dustin Johnson this week as well, but and it's a time you enjoy as well.
I've said to a few people, if ever I ended up on Her Majesty's service doing time in Mount Eden and they said you can only watch one sporting event a year, I'd probably choose the Masters ahead of anything else. So definitely must watch. Interesting conditions this morning. The wind obviously had a major factor and the scoring was pretty average by Charlie Hoffman, who's got a 4-shot lead, but McIlroy's not too far back. Mickelson, Rose, Fowler. So some of the big names aren't too far off the pace, really.
Yeah, no, it's good to see. Yeah.
Spieth had a bit of a nightmare again on the 15th. He quadrupled that. So, I'll stick with McIlroy. McIlroy or Mickelson would be my 2.
Yeah, I'll go with McIlroy and Rose. I'm pretty keen on McIlroy coming through and showing his class, but it just goes to show, like, Spieth dropped those 4 shots, and I saw McIlroy on the 4th hole, where he was above the hole by about, say, 15, 20 feet, and just hardly touched the ball, ended up 15 feet past the hole. And if you end up on the wrong side of the hole, you know, you can put it on a quadruple bogey, just like that. So it's one of those tournaments where I think was it Spieth last year, wasn't he? He had a 5-shot lead and blew it, so it's never over.
I'll make a prediction. Charlie Hoffman leads the tournament by 4 shots. Won't finish in the top 5.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. It's, yeah. I never sort of watched him play much, so it depends if he got the game.
He goes well in the win, so.
Yeah.
But I think come Saturday, Sunday with the pressure, I think he'll buckle.
Yeah. And the Super 15, I heard a stat on the radio this morning about no Aussie team has beaten any New Zealand team in 11 games this season. Is that right?
That's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So Hurricanes look to make it 12 tonight, but not a lot of value in that game.
Yeah.
But I think the game tomorrow afternoon, kicking off at 5:15, the Sunwolves are at home to the Bulls.
Yep.
And I got my stats man on the job, and he came up with a stat that no South African team has beaten the Sunwolves at home by more than 18 points. So the South African teams don't tend to travel that well. And the Sunwolves, coming off a bye and
good sign.
Improving, and certainly the Bulls are no Hurricanes, so they won't put 80 points on them. So we're picking the Sunwolves to stay within 17 points of the Bulls, so Sunwolves plus 17.5.
Yep.
I think that's still at $1.87, that option.
It's gone to plus 16.5 at $1.92.
Oh, there you go. So it's moved twice now.
Yeah.
They must have heard us. We're going to tip. So no, we'll stick with that. I think the Sunwolves will put on a good performance against the Bulls, who'll be looking to get home after a few weeks away in New Zealand, and they might win, but they certainly won't smash them. So it looks a pretty solid bet. And in the league, we're sticking with one of our favourite teams, the Raiders, going away to the Titans. The Titans got major injury worries. They basically finished with only 14 men last week against the Warriors, losing 3 players to injury, and as their depth is challenged, I think they might struggle. And the Raiders, they're a team on the up, and they'll go up to the Gold Coast and put a nice score on the Titans, so they'll cover the 8.5 point start in that game too, I believe.
Right. Yep. $1.87. Just writing this down there. $1.87. Yep. That's on at 7:30 on tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Yep.
Yep.
So they're the 2 main sports games, but yeah, the golf will be compulsive viewing really over the next 3 mornings at least.
Yeah. No, it's so if you end up in Mount Eden, I know what you'll be doing this time next year.
Yeah, just bring me up to Sky Dakota if I happen to end up in Mount Eden. I'm not planning on it, Neil, but
that's good.
You know, that if it came down to where you could only watch one sporting event, you know, maybe some might go State of Origin, some might go an All Blacks Test, but for me, I'd probably go the Masters.
Yeah. No, a friend of mine went there a couple of years ago and said it was just amazing. So, yeah, I'd probably join if I was in there with you as well. So, no. Okay, back with part 4 with our brickbats and bouquets and our multi-question for the week, plus our $100 bets.
Part 4 now to wrap up the show with our brickbat, bouquets, $100 bets and multi-question. Neil, we'll kick off with you. Something good that happened this week.
Yeah, it had to be the Andrew Forsman, Murray Baker juggernaut. Just keeps on going and keep on producing top horses, winning top races. And they also seem to have a good young crop coming through. Like even tomorrow they've got 5 or 6 runners, all look quality horses. They just seem to find them and don't spend huge money on them, but they occasionally do. So it's just good to see Andrew Forsman especially, been there, a couple of years, I don't know, 2 or 3 years? And,
4 or 5 probably now.
Is it? Yeah. And just to team up with someone like Murray Baker, is just fantastic, and they must sort of really work and complement each other really well. So it's just good to see a team like that getting the results.
A friend of mine has a horse or 2 in the stable, and the communication he gets from Mr. Forsman is second to none. So yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. The complement each other. Murray's obviously the old head with the
Yeah.
the knowledge, and Andrew's learning that, but also very good on the PR side and the communication side. So
Good to hear.
definitely work well as a team. My bouquet of the week is
Yep.
just the quick decisions. Well, I'm sure they were made quickly, but made with plenty of time and notification to everyone concerned to transfer meetings. No good doing it on the day or realising it's too late by then, or even a couple of days before. So I think it was Monday
Yep.
that Te Araha announced that they'd be running at Te Rapa. So no, well done to make those decisions nice and early in the piece.
Yeah, too right. The trainers and owners knew exactly where they stood, where they were going to race on the weekend, so that was good to see. And any brickbats? No?
The brickbat, I don't know if he probably hasn't been mentioned much, but the last race at the Manawatu Trots, go and watch the replay of that
Yep.
and watch them come into the straight the first time, but don't watch the horses, look what's happening in the crowd. Couple of idiots, greyhound trainers were having a fight. Not a good look when, as I've already mentioned, there's a big crowd on course. To see people who licensed people having a fight on the lawn, just idiots. So that's they're my brickbat. The people involved in that. No need for any of that, especially on a big occasion like that. So not a good look.
Yeah, I heard about that, so I will go back and maybe alcohol that time of day too was a factor, but even though it just shouldn't happen, especially with licensed people. No, not good. And I got a small brickbat on trackside last night, and it happens regularly too. When they're covering the night gallops like at Pakenham or Cranbourne or Moonee Valley, the pre-race coverage just seems to focus on one or two horses, and often they're horses that are rank outsiders and no one's got any interest in. You would think they would show more horses, especially the favoured runners, but just goes to show how lucky we are over here with our pre-race coverage, showing the main chances nearly every race, and getting that excellent coverage from our side. But Aussies need to brush up on that, I feel. Right, last week we had the multi-question of the week went to Aaron from Nelson, and he had Charles Road was one of his horses in his multi, Carnival, which is a bit disappointing, I felt. She had her chance, but didn't apparently back up from the week before, and Love Light, which just missed in the last race. So we need to sharpen our pencils a bit sharper this time. So, Money Shot, what have you got lined up for us this week as a question?
Okay, here we go. This might be a tricky question, but if you think about it, it might not be quite so hard. 1975, the winner of the Thoroughbred Breeders' Stakes at Te Araha was trained by Ray Werner and ridden by David Peake. We want to know the name of that horse, and the clue is this horse has been in the news a lot in the last 7 days. There you go. Think outside the square, and you might get that one. So all correct entries will be going the draw to win a $20 multi-bet. And Neil, best way for people to submit their entries is?
Yes, 027 352 6402. Just give me a text by 10 p.m. tonight, just after that horse wins at Cranbourne, 9:30, or email formpro@formpro.co.nz. And I saw that horse win not only recently, but also when it was racing that on her colours early on in her campaign. Anyway, I've got a question for you, Money Shot. When was the last time Winx has won 17 in a row, right? What was the race she got beat?
I think. I think it's 16, but yeah, going for 17 tomorrow.
17, that's right. What was the last race she got beaten in?
The last race she got beaten in was a race that's on tomorrow, the AJC Oaks. I think she ran second. And a horse called Gust of Wind, I think it was, won. And Hugh Bowman didn't even ride her. He was riding something else. And you know who rode Winx that day to get beaten?
No.
Joel Moreira. There you go. So even the so-called best jockey in the world couldn't get Winx up. And then I remember her first win of this, her first race after that, so the first of her 16 consecutive wins, was a race at the Sunshine Coast. I think it was the Sunshine Coast Guineas. and she would have been second last out of a 16 or 18 horse field with 300 to go. You go and watch that race, and what she finished down the outside that day was pretty impressive. I guess no one could have predicted exactly how good she'd become, but certainly she showed a bit of ability that day, then went on to win the Queensland Oaks, and I guess then the rest is history. A couple of Cox Plates, a Doncaster, and who knows, maybe a Queen Elizabeth tomorrow.
Yeah, I know before she started that winning streak, she'd done a lot of really fast closing sectionals, and so everything was there to say that this mare could be something special. Well, she was a filly then, could be something special. And like a lot of class horses that go on with it, they always show those sectionals early on. So, no, great memory. Well done, Money Shot.
That's why we rely on you, Neil, to get all that good information. Horses that don't necessarily win but are showing big potential to go on with it with their sectionals. So you keep up the good work, and it keeps the subscribers happy, and yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a good factual piece of information that can often tell you a lot more than the eye can see, and that Smiling More in the first race is going to be my $100 win bet. $2.70 he's showing now, and Opie's on, so his sectional and his trials, and also his closing sectional when he ran second to that not bad horse Ginger Nuts, tells us this horse is going to win races. So what are you going to go for?
Well, my $100 multi, I'll do a multi. I'll do the horse at Cranbourne tonight. I don't think the prices are up yet, but you'll probably get about $1.80 to $2.
Okay.
Into the Sunwolves plus 16.5 tomorrow. So that'll be my go for the weekend.
No, that sounds good. And anything else you want to mention before we sign off?
Easter next week. What are we doing? We'll do another show. We have to, don't we?
Yeah, I'll be eating lots of chocolate fish too, so I'm looking forward to that.
It won't be any of my chocolate fish.
We'll see that.
We look forward to being back. We'll do a show on Good Friday, no doubt. So look forward to that, Neil. Yeah,
look forward to that. And thanks everyone for listening in, and thanks Money Shot for joining us this weekend. And looking forward to a neat day of racing at Te Rapa tomorrow. Some good horses there. Looking forward to doing the analysis out of it. And also in Australia, and hopefully Bonnievale can keep on that winning streak for us. So have a great weekend and make plenty of money.